Father Edmond Auger predated television evangelists by over 5 centuries, yet it is unlikely none of his contemporary peers could match his eloquence or fearlessness even facing certain death. Auger entered the Society of Jesuits and was personally mentored by Ignatius of Loyola. The French city of Valence, near Lyon, was a center of combat during the 16th century religious wars between Calvinists, or Huguenots, and Catholics. Calvinist forces occupied the city, and Auger formed a plan to usurp their authority. He entered the city as a solitary pilgrim dressed in his clerical garb, much to the mockery of the observing locals. He stood amidst the place of the Cathedral and began preaching. His intention was to convert the citizenry and prompt the military garrison into relocation. His oration calling for repentance had just commenced when he was promptly arrested and placed before the military commandant. Without bothering over the formality of a trial, Auger was condemned to death. He was brusquely transferred to the Cathedral Square, attached to a stake, and surrounded by accommodating kindling and bundles of wood. A military torchman was prepared to light his death sentence. What the commandant hadn't anticipated was Auger's oratory prowess. Had he been gagged, he would have simply become a forgotten, senseless casualty in the religious conflict. Auger spoke continually and non-stop with confidence and reassurance. He dared not pause or attempt to catch his breath. The crowd that had initially mocked him laid down their kindling and sat down to listen. His call for repentance and examination of conscience met receptive ears. Each sentence extended his life against the grim reality of the executioner's torch. He continued speaking. The attention and commotion of the swelling crowd elicited the attention of the Calvinist religious authorities. They were perplexed and astounded that one lone condemned Jesuit could sustain the attention of the assemblage. The commandant could find no willing volunteer to torch Auger. Even the head of the Calvinist religious delegation found his speaking tone compelling, despite disagreeing with his doctrine. He secured orders from the commandant to release Auger so that they might continue their own public theological debate. Both men generated wild applause with their arguments and rebuttals. The fiery exchange continued until concluding with mutual respect and a temporary détente. Plans were formulated to stage a public debate between both men before the entire city. The event would never occur. Catholic armies advanced upon Valence, capturing the city and releasing Auger. Father Auger was a complicated and often conflictive individual, unique from any peer of his era. He publicly espoused war as a necessity instrument of divine providence. He became the chaplain to the papal troops in the 1569 Battle of Jarnac and Montcontour. He publicly and vehemently opposed compromise with the Calvinists or Huguenots. Despite his open hostility towards Protestantism, he could not be simply dismissed as an ignorant bigot. He founded the Lyon Church of the Trinity in 1565, the first educational institution within France that admitted Protestant and Catholic students on terms of equality. Simultaneously, he orchestrated a 3-day book-burning spree on a bridge crossing the Saône River. Auger's sermons that often verged on prophecy broke other cultural barriers by later admitting women.